So we're going to be looking at the Jean Bart Black, which is a Tier 9 French battleship, which, aside from when the black sails are out there, you can't get the original anymore, if I remember correctly.
Santa containers and super containers only.
Yeah. So it used to be, I think, originally coal, but obviously she's quite a strong ship. A lot of people like to play her. I have a feeling we're going to find out why. So Jean Bart's characteristics, she's got 2 quadruple turrets in the bow, and that's it. No main battery in her stern. All of her business is up in the front and the party is in the back. It is essentially a reverse mullet. She's got main battery reload booster, and these 380mm guns actually have pretty good muzzle velocity, especially for AP, and you can do either kind of choices. So one thing I like to do in Jean Bart is you fire HE at a target, you set them on fire. If they DCP that fire, you laugh, you press your main battery reload booster, and you set them on fire like 2 or 3 more times. And then you move on to the next target. That's one of the fun things that you can do with Jean Bart, especially with the reload booster. If you capture a enemy cruiser or something broadside, if they catch them that way, you can also use reload booster that way. She's got an engine boost that makes her very maneuverable. You can use this in conjunction with forward-backward maneuvering to juke a lot of shots that way. You could also use that to relocate quickly. Iron Meals, give me a moment, or if you want to send me the link, but give me a little bit. We'll get it figured out for you.
Iron Meals is a sub, isn't he? You should be able to post.
I think I have it locked to VIPs. So, there. Now you have a diamond. Congratulations. Let's take a look at your build then. By the way, a bit of a noob trap on this ship is speccing it for secondaries. You typically want to go mostly for...
I mean, you could troll people and do it. It works. I've done it a few times. But
the main problem with secondaries on this ship is the big ones are in the back, so they can't really shoot forward. And since you're usually sitting bow in, that means a lot of the secondaries can't shoot. And then you have the obvious problem that a lot of them are 100mm, which just lack the penetration. So the secondaries on French ships in general are mostly about fires and not about damage.
Right. Which is why I would say it's a bit of a noob trap. Most of the time you don't want to use that. And Irmios, thanks for the tiny URL. I fixed that now. Appreciate you, man.
She's basically a Richelieu bumped up to tier 9 with a few gimmicks.
Yeah. All right, so let's look at your build. You are a fan of Damage Control Party mod. You get 40% extra DCP time. That takes you up to 23 seconds, which is almost American. It's a little bit better than American Battleship stock. You've got Damage Control mod 1, aiming systems, Damage Control 2, concealment, and then main battery. Now, these battleships also, I should mention, have 32mm armor plating all around, which means enemy ships with IFHE, like cruisers with IFHE or destroyers, can absolutely chew up your armor if they pen 32. So that can be problematic, but you're set up for more of a super tank kind of setup here with your fire reduction plus your DCP.
It also means that anything short of Yamato's gun can overmatch you.
Yep. I would recommend main armament mod 1 here instead of damage control. You do not want to lose your turrets, and these turrets are not that tanky.
One of the main weaknesses of this line is, of the ship, you're sitting bow on, your turrets are going to face the enemy a lot of the time, and when you're sitting bow on, a lot of the shells that get shot at you just hit the turrets. And these turrets don't have good armor, and they don't have a lot of hit points. There is games I've seen where Jean Bart ended up with no turrets left.
Yep. I'm going to do something I don't normally do and drop the build viewer for a second. The other thing is because these are quadruple turrets, there's a very large flat area right in the face here, which means there's a large area for shells to just smash and pen right through. So it's very common. It's a very common tactic that battleship players will aim for turrets. Now you compare that, for example, with another battleship. Here's an American battleship. Because it's a triple, it's got a smaller face. Also, if you note, see how there's a slant here? There's a bit of an angle in the front turret facing as well. The Jean Barts are straight up and down for the most part. So, does it make sense to angle the turrets? Yes, if you think somebody's going to shoot at you and try to knock the turrets out, you can definitely angle the turrets. And what you do is you fire and then you turn them slightly and then you turn them back to fire again. You can keep doing that. On this particular turret, you can get away with doing that, but you have to be careful because the side armor is even weaker than the front-facing armor. So, yeah, you're far better dodging shells by maneuvering than trying to turn your turrets. Put it that way.
You also have the problem on the barbette, especially on the B turret. And you just can't angle the barbette.
Right. So literally being someplace else is probably a better way to dodge shells than worrying about, angling and that sort of thing. Jean Bart has your damage record on both servers. Comfortable guns.
It's a problem for the Richelieu too. Quite frankly, it's a problem for the Elsas and even for the Bourgogne. All these 380mm guns on the French battleships have weak turrets.
Yep. So I would absolutely go main armaments mod 1 here. Beyond that, the other thing to consider is doing propulsion if you like to go front and back. And then, is it slot 3? Is it slot 2? The propulsion module, the engine boost mod, I should say, would be very useful if you like to relocate. So, lots of options here. But it's up to how you play it. Did you say it was a standard, Captain?
No, this is one of the honoraries. He's not fully. He's not 21. He's
18.
No, 19.
Right, but you've only used 18 points.
Oh, okay. So you got that after. My bad.
Yeah. So he could be a 21 pointer, but if you haven't used the points, it shows up here as an 18 pointer.
Yeah. My bad. Yeah.
It's okay. So Honore is a good choice for Jean Bart because you get the boosted Grease the Gears and most importantly the boosted Adrenaline Rush. So you've got Gunfeeder, Grease the Gears, Adrenaline Rush, anti-fire prevention, emergency repair, and then close quarters. Okay. So why didn't you take concealment?
Hang on, I'm reading something. I didn't take concealment because it either had to be concealment or close quarters, and I'm putting the last 3 into secondaries because once the ship's in the secondaries range, that's a faster reload on the main gun. Combine that with speed boost and adrenaline rush, bada boom, bada boom.
Right. These two here synergize very well. Here's my thinking on this. All right. I would probably take concealment and drop emergency repair. I mean, fire prevention you absolutely want. That makes perfect sense. You have taken anti-fire stuff here. I think you're better off taking concealment so that you can maneuver a little bit better without being detected. 14.3 right now. If we drop this and go concealment, you're under 13. That's a big difference.
I wouldn't take the secondary skills for the Jean Bart. I really wouldn't.
Well, Big O is a fan of the one secondary skill here so that he can kick off his main battery reload. If he gets within secondary range, if he pops this in here for his final skill, he's going to have 10.5 kilometers range. Actually, it's going to be probably 11. No.
Okay. No, it's not because he doesn't take the secondary mod in the third slot.
Well, I would probably say switch it and get 12 kilometer that way. But anyways, he wants to play an aggressive battleship. And so gets into range to use this. So fine. Okay. But I would...
The 152s are in a triangle on the back. The 100 millimeters are on the sides.
Yeah. I can show you that after we finish going through this.
That's not the point. As long as your ship is spotted in the secondary range, the main gun reloads faster.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So
I know,
that's...
but it's 7 points for that, and I'm...
He's investing heavily into it, and if that's the way he wants to play it, then fine. I guess that the big thing is he needs to be able to get into range to use it. Most people who will play a Jean Bart won't do that. Okay, most people who will play a Jean Bart will go something like this, and then either pick up improved repair party readiness as a tier 9, so I can see the argument for that. Especially if you're going to move this captain up to Burgon, same thing could apply. Or you can do basic survivability. You could go brisk to take advantage of the engine boost, so while you're undetected, you move around faster. That synergizes really well with concealment. Obviously, I would probably take priority target. So I mean, there's and then a 1-pointer. So there's a lot of different ways to choose to play this ship. Let me go back to the way that you have built it like this. So you're gonna go here for your last ones.
Like the way Biko wants to play it is like what I would say I would play my Georgia or Ohio.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. Now, note, Iremios, that the skill here says reload speed after an enemy is spotted within your ship's secondary battery firing range. It has nothing to do with your battery is actually firing at somebody. So if they don't have an arc forward and the only ship is directly forward, he still gets the 10% main battery reload buff. So that's why he's using this. And then flags, anti-det, ramming, and obviously secondary to boost the range. Although right now, you don't have that other skill, so it's only 8.76 kilometer. Okay. I'm guessing you're trying to save flags then? Conserve them? Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously consumables, speed, heal, fire, and flood reduction are the last, the other ones I would definitely be running if I had every flag available to me. Okay. Let's get to your replay. And as Grunty was saying, you do have secondaries off on the side. These are 100 millimeter secondaries. They do all nothing except set fires. They will not they basically won't pen anything unless you spec IFHE. Please don't do that, but you could. And then there's the 152s. These are 6-inch guns, and these are, as Grundy said, posted in the rear of the ship. So his best firing arc for these is running away. Oops. Okay, there we go. So this is a loop. You are middle tier, no carriers, 2 subs, and you've got 5 battleships. Huh?
Dutch, on Eagle, I've gotten the reload with almost max AR down to about 5 or 6 seconds with the reload booster and max AR.
Which is absolutely nutty.
Essentially, this is the same build that's on the captain that's on board Gone, which is another Honore.
Right, and I know you really enjoy that build on Burgon because we've talked about that a lot in the past. So, okay. Fair enough. Cruisers, Yoshino, Neptune, Johann de Whale, and Baltimore. I mean, those are your food when you switch to AP. Alone Hayate. Why would you play Hayate now when in a week it's going to get even better? And a Blau and a Gato that can be problematic for you. Okay. So you got 5 ships that you can burn. And then you got 4 you can Citadel slap. And then you've got 3 that you can... I don't know. Whatever. So let's see what happens.
Requesting fire on the designated target.
You accidentally got your Thunder reload down to 17 seconds. That's a scary thought.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
Engine boost activated.
even more scary, Conqueror, 19 seconds.
Why are you engine boosting here?
To get over to the flame quicker.
Spotted an enemy submarine.
I figured that much. I generally like to play my battleships with engine boost. I like to use that engine boost to help me dodge stuff better. So like after I'm engaged in battle, then I'll start engine boosting. Similar to how you might engine boost when you're like a Soviet gunboat, right? Or French gunboat destroyer. The other thing about engine boost is it helps you get into secondary range quicker too when you want to go that full YOLO. So doing it early, you lose those two options.
Affirmative.
Oh look, it got
Roger.
to.
All forces, capture that area. All stations, reporting the position of a strategic
Look, a
target.
broadside Yoshino. I might slow down here and turn in just to prevent the Hayate from torping you.
He took the torps the other way. But that was my initial thought, is stopping here.
Yep, and he has got Yamamoto and he died. So we saw fireworks and then he exploded. That's kind of hilarious, actually. If you got him even sooner, I might have actually paused the replay to take a death pick of that because it's hilarious. Fireworks on top of an exploding ship. Just think about that.
Can we quickly talk about that this Hayate torped the submarine?
It worked, didn't it?
Christ.
If it's stupid but it works, is it still stupid?
I mean, the stupid thing here is your submarine that died to Hayate torps, but I mean...
He's on the surface, didn't see a need to dive. It's a 4501, which doesn't have a lot of dive capacity, right?
It doesn't have a lot of dive capacity, but like you don't need a lot to just dive quickly when you see the torps and be safe. Even if you surface again afterwards.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think he was expecting torps. I think the bigger thing is the Z-52 didn't bother to hydro. That might have actually saved his buddy.
All stations, reporting the position of a strategic target. Torpedoes, dead ahead. Torpedoes to starboard.
Look, it's Yoshino torps. Pommern, Kansas, Montana, Kansas, St. Vincent. There are no battleships on this flank.
Putting this fire out was greedy,
Engine
but it might have worked here just fine.
I can see why he would do it. Who else is there to shoot him? Also, broadside Yoshino, I like the use of reload booster here. Although I kind of wish, yeah, you had shot the Neptune. Oh well.
Reporting the position of a strategic
Yeah,
target.
I didn't notice that till after that.
Mm-hmm. Z-52 almost killed the Gato, but
He
doesn't want to smoke,
That
apparently.
is not an issue. Will not be an issue the entire match.
Odd.
What's the ASW range on the Shambad?
6.
Oh.
Nice. Set it all up the rear. Okay. Yeah, spoiler alert, right? Seriously. Alright, so the question is, what's the Yoshino going to do? You get the cap just before he shoots at you, so lucky there. I would expect him to turn and try to torp you. He already fired his torps on the one side. Oh look, broadside Neptune. Yes, please. Now here's where the engine boost would be useful for you, Big O, because you could pop out and completely surprise the Yoshino. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of his torpedo aim.
I owe you one. Torpedoes to port.
And he wants to die. Oh look, your turret just went...
Why is this Yoshino shooting AP?
He broke a turret, so actually kind of worked out-ish. But I agree, he should have been firing HE. The ironic thing is that forced a DCP, so this could be a full flood right here. And somehow you got lucky and it didn't flood.
His DCP was still running.
Engine boost activated.
Because of that
it
DCP.
works.
Because of that DCP module. Mm-hmm. Alright, well, you're taking some guesses as to where that sub might be. There's some torpedoes. He's behind the Harlem. And look, a broadside Johann de Whale.
Affirmative.
Awaiting instructions.
Our team has taken the lead.
And yes, Jean Bart will be getting ASW range boosted.
That's how it's
Mass
done.
2.
Mm-hmm. About time.
And I think Ohio and Georgia. I could be wrong.
I thought one of those two. I can't remember now.
Yeah, I don't think it was both.
No?
No. Johann de Whale, bow into. You might consider switching to HE for a shot on him. Side note, this island right up here is a very strong position, aside from the fact you're facing a Johann de
All
Whale.
stations, reporting the position of a
Because you can't
strategic
just
target.
kind of stop there and bow in and stuff, like you might want to.
Ohio Thunder Chambard will be buffed on the range.
Yeah, so not the Georgia. I might continue focusing on the St. Vincent while you get closer to the Johann. Because I don't think he's going to sit there and let you shoot him. And you do have a broadside on St. Vincent.
I took this match one ship at a time.
Fair enough.
Closest had priority.
Now you
I actually
should
don't
be
think
getting...
You want that fight with the Johann.
Well, remember, he does get the increased reload boost now. So look how quickly he's reloading
okay,
his
Johann is
AP.
donating hit points. Never mind.
He panicked and went broadside, so, wow. So that actually gets you one extra salvo out of your reload booster.
Don't think that guy knew how to Johann de Witt.
I think it was more he realized he was being flanked and didn't want to be there anymore. Didn't expect Big O to show up like that.
Reporting the target position. Roger.
Rip your Kremlin.
Time extension.
And
I mean,
for
his
right now,
reload
yeah.
buff did proc a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
But over the long course of the battle, like the total amount of uptime of that skill compared to the point investment, I'm just not sold.
If it works for him, it works for him.
The ship is on fire.
I mean, it's about to happen again because now there's a Montana that's just broadside and slowly reversing. So this is, you know, the reload didn't help. It was two. The thing is that the ship had died before his second salvo got in. Nice hit. Although I almost wonder if you fired too far towards the middle and would have been better suited going for the turrets. Like, I would be aiming for the rear turrets here. Looks like that's where you are. And you're still hitting a mid and turret. Okay. I mean, you're so close to him, so you should get, like, extra pen out of this because of the range.
Our victory is in.
And the thing to keep in mind too, Grunty, is this is without the secondary enhancement that he is going to pick for his last
Yeah,
three
I know he would
points.
get more range.
So it'll get more use out of it. Or at the very least, it'll proc more often.
The uptime will be higher if he has
Yeah.
more range. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not denying that. But like,
Roger.
the point I'm trying to make here is, would it have mattered if he had 1 more second to reload?
I need your
Like,
support.
So far, it hasn't had an impact. He's been able to get more, maybe a little bit more damage because of that, but it's not something that keeps him alive, you know. I love how it's just 2 Kansases left. Poor guys. They spent the entire time coming up to that part of the map only to just get ticked apart. Oh my god. Double Citadel. Also, I love how the Gato has no choice but to chase you guys. He didn't even grab C-Cap. He could have easily just grabbed the C-Cap, but he didn't.
Destroyed an enemy battleship.
I mean, that kill he probably... No, that skill wasn't even active. Or was it? Oh, I think it was. That kill he got because of his buff.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise the other ship would have killed.
Yep. Now you're turning this way because you're expecting him to turn southward? And doesn't matter.
Where can I find these paid actor enemy battleships that only show broadsides?
And you're like, my Kraken.
Asking for a friend.
2 million credits gained. 4 ships killed, Confederate, high caliber, lots of XP, 234,000 damage, lots of base XP. Wow. And again, I think a lot of this is because their battleships abandoned the flank. So Big O was able to do whatever he wanted to without real fear of anything. And frankly, the Gato was ineffective too. Not bad. Let's go ahead and pull up the replay render, which I did not change yet. Lol. Here we go. And guys, what shall we call this game?
Broadsides.
Most effective way to deal with enemy subs is to run away from them. Truth.
I mean, the Gato was super low too, like...
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many battleships on the enemy team actually spawned here. Like, the only one we saw was the Pommern Blithely, right? And he immediately ran.
So there's the 52 chasing him. Hydro on. And then, oh god, there's a Neptune and Yoshino. Run! And that's the last time anybody ever saw the Gato. You know, with this replay, I think back to like the Napoleonic age of just frontal assaults. I think that's what I'm going to call this. Frontal assault. Unless y'all could think of a better title.
Donating broadsides. Because that's what the enemy team did.
They really did, didn't they? What do you think, Big O?
Not donating broadsides. Frontal assault. I like that.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else to discuss in your replay? I don't think so.
Just an overall good match.
Yeah, it was a solid game. I mean, quite a bit of base XP higher than second place on your team, so you could consider that to be a very strong carry. Yeah, everything just kind of fell into place for you.
That's why I like that build, because when it works, and you can rip through ships real fast.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Like
You just have to make sure you
Kansas,
DCP your turrets. All right, dude. Well, thanks. Yeah, the enemy outfeed opportunities and Big O made them pay for those opportunities. Absolutely correct, yes. All right, guys, we are going to go into... Why did my button